So I went and bought some more RAM. OLOy. What's up everybody, it's PJ the Great. I hope you're having a super beautiful day. And if you're new here, I do videos just like this as well as ADHD tips. So if that sounds like your jam, consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, what up fam? Welcome back. Okay, so before I go blind with this light shining right in my face, I was gonna do this video, but I wasn't gonna do it like right now, but I figured better get on it now because there's a great deal going on it. And I know a lot of people are wondering about it as I got the box upside down. This is OLOy RAM. Now, I saw this RAM on newegg.com, and this video is not sponsored by them nor OLOy. And it's a 32 gigabyte kit, 2 sticks, 3200 megahertz, CL16, and it's going for $99.99 for Black Friday. And I know Black Friday is already passed, but it kind of goes like over the weekend. And I see that they have it up now for Cyber Monday, which is tomorrow. And I wanted to go ahead and do a quick review on it because I've had this RAM for a couple of days now, been playing around with it, and I kind of wanted to like answer some questions on like the performance and share those results with you and how I've been working with it. Now, just to give you a heads up, Baby Blue here has a Rogue Crosshair 6 Hero motherboard with a Ryzen 7 2700 non-X overclocked to 4 gigahertz. So that's what I'm rocking with. And I upgraded from 32 gigabytes of XPG Gamix 10 RAM to picking up 2 kits of this to get me up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. Now, who needs that much RAM? To be perfectly honest with you, the only people that really need it are content creators that are working with 4K footage. I'm not working with 4K footage. This is like a soccer mom camera. The only reason why I got it is because to future-proof myself, and I just wanted a little bit more RAM when I'm editing in DaVinci Resolve 16 Studio. Now, I could have bought a kit, a 64 gigabyte kit, and they say that it's wiser to do that, but it was actually priced more. 64 gigabyte kit was like $260, $270. So I just chanced it and bought 2. That hasn't hurt me in the past. I did the same thing with my XPG RAM and I was just fine. Oh, and ignore that. That's my old XPG RAM. So, another question. Who is OLOy? I mean, that was the same thing that I said too. I have no idea who they are. So I was a little hesitant in picking this RAM up because I didn't know how well it would perform. I did a little research and I've been hearing a lot of people say that this is actually Samsung B-Die RAM that they're using. They just put their brand on it, their shell, kind of like all the other RAM companies do. So this is Samsung B-Die. Now, since they're like a kind of like a new company, I guess they are, I would tread lightly to think that you're automatically going to get Samsung B-Die. It may be a chance that you might get Crucial or SK Hynix, but the kit that I got is Samsung B-Die, and a couple other people have said that they've gotten Samsung B-Die too. So that was the one thing, that was like one of the main things actually that made me pick this up, because you know how the Ryzen 1st and 2nd gen were very finicky on what kind of RAM it would use, and usually perform a lot better with Samsung B-Die. All right, so enough yippity yip yapping. I'm gonna switch the screen over and show you my test results. The test results are gonna show what I was working with the XPG RAM. These installed right out of the box, stock speeds, and then a little light overclocking using the XMP profile. So let's take a look at that.
Here we are. December night, snowflakes fall, wonderful, magical.
So as you can see from the test results, they're a little kind of all over the place. The only place that I saw the significant difference was in Cinebench. My Geekbench dropped. I was kind of like expecting that because the same thing happened to me when I upgraded from 48 gigabytes of RAM to 64 gigabytes of RAM in my 2010 Mac Pro, and my performance dropped in Realbench that I use from Asus. So performance dropped in that regard, but I'm not too concerned about it because the drop wasn't that significant. My ultimate goal was to get 64 gigabytes of RAM while editing. When I went into DaVinci Resolve 16 Studio, before with 32 gigabytes of RAM, I could only allow that program to use, I think it was like 19 gigabytes of RAM. Now that I'm up to 64, I can allow Studio 16 to use up to 48 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm really happy about that. But I will admit, when I edited my ADHD video from yesterday with the 64 gigabytes of RAM, I didn't really notice a performance difference at all. I mean, DaVinci Resolve 16, but the type of footage that I shoot typically only uses anywhere between 10 to 13 gigabytes of RAM. So I didn't see a performance increase there at all, but hey, at least it's there if I need it. Okay, so are there any drawbacks of picking up this OLOy RAM? Well, I mean, results may vary depending on like what type of chip you're working with, what type of motherboard you're working with. And I know, at least for me, it's a little finicky. When I first got it, installed it, and it just wasn't behaving properly. So I had to go into the XMP profile, set it to 32, manually set the voltage to 1.35, and that's probably my own fault because I didn't reset it before I took out the XPG RAM. But when I did that, everything worked fine. Ran my tests, everything's copacetic. I started playing World War Z. I started playing that and everything was fine, but then all of a sudden, boom, blue screen of death. So I thought, okay, whatever. Power the machine back on, turn the game back on, start playing, boom, blue screen of death. The only thing that fixed it was going back to the XMP profile and then overclocking it to 3260, and then that solved it. So I don't know how overclocking it can solve that problem, but it did. At least I think it did, until I had a fluke accident yesterday when I was uploading footage onto Baby Blue to edit my ADHD video, and all I did was pull out the SD card, blue screen. So I don't know what was going on with that. So then I went into the BIOS again, and then the core performance boost, I switched that from enabled to auto, and it seems to be behaving fine now, but we'll see. I'll keep playing around with it, and I'll leave messages down below to let you guys and gals know what the status is. Okay, so at the end of the day, do I recommend the OLOy RAM kit? $99.99 deal that's going on right now at Newegg. I would say if you're a Ryzen user, if you're first gen or second gen, I would say yes, but only if you're willing to do some tinkering, because I had to do some tinkering. Hopefully you won't have to, but I'm just giving you the heads up. The third generation Ryzen users, you guys shouldn't have a problem because AMD fixed the issue where pretty much any RAM would work with the third generation of Ryzen chips now. For Team Blue, Intel, I don't think you guys will have an issue at all, because to Intel, RAM is RAM. So that's my thoughts on it. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out the sale on this yourself. So do me a favor, if you like this quick little video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, you can give it a thumbs down. But no matter what you do, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell right next to it so you'll be notified every time I upload new videos. This is just a little quick bonus video to try and help you guys and gals out during Cyber Monday taking place tomorrow. And this sale is going on right now, so you can go and check it out now as you view it. This is PJ the Great saying Audi 5000G. Blinded by the light.